Today we continue our class Hilchot Teshuvah, and looks like today we're going to finish the whole section of Hilchot Teshuvah, Bezras HaShem. So tomorrow is a big siyum in Yerushalayim. Is Rabbi Reuven Shlita, Rabbi TIKKUN Shlita, and many great poskim, many great rabbis on our generation. But today we have a small siyum, Bezras HaShem. So let's start. So we start with Sefer Chofetz Chaim, and the big topic is the same, right? I'm going to remind what does it mean the same? Meaning the 7 conditions. Toilet 7 conditions, meaning toilet means for constructive purpose. So as we said many times before, you're allowed to talk rechilus or lashon hara. And it's not going to be considered a hilchos or lashon hara if it's for constructive purpose. Okay, so condition number 3. We have seen that with regard to lashon hara, one may not speak negatively about someone for a constructive purpose without first discussing the matter with a person. So if somebody offended somebody else, so just come to that person, try to discuss. Maybe he did not know that he offended somebody. Maybe he did not realize. Maybe he wants to apologize. Right? Don't start talking bad about him. An exception to this rule is the case where this speaking to the person could prevent the desired result from being achieved. So what is the desired result being achieved? Meaning that this person may be threatening somebody else, and if we forewarn him that we know his plans, so he's going to design different plans and carry out with that, right? Which is a big issue, of course. Continue. With regard to the hilus, the exception may be more common than the rule. When an individual has already harmed someone or about to harm someone, one should not enter into discussion with him concerning the matter if this could make it more difficult for a victim to protect himself or attain restitution. Right, so I mean, we forewarned him that we know about the issue, or he's known to do these things to other people in your neighborhood, in your town. So just because you're going to tell him that you know what he's about, it's not going to stop him. Right? Another situation of the rechilus, tochacha, rebuke, toward the perpetrator is a prerequisite for relating the hilchos for a constructive purpose. So if he's not that evil, that person, so yeah, that's you're obligated to talk to him and see maybe you can straighten out the case. It's not as I said a few times in the past. Somebody asked me to make a peace between people and try to. I came to that person and I asked him why did he do that, and he had no idea. He was so embarrassed that he did such a thing to the other person. But when I was talking to the victim, so-called victim party, so he described that person as the evil of the evil. You understand? So it's proper to talk to people. Don't draw any conclusions. A discussion with a person could preclude the need to speak rechilus concerning him. Okay. And dispel suspicion regarding the speaker's true intention. Okay, so we stop here. Alright, so continue. So we're on the last chapter, right? And just to remind us what this chapter is about. So it's in chapter 8 and 9 we were talking about rewards and punishment. Right, that person is going to receive after his death, and even in this life, right? If he is doing bad, he's going to suffer in this life, and in the next world, if he is doing good, he's going to be rewarded and enjoy this life and the next life. Okay, and now we came to the last chapter, and now Rambam is talking to us. So he said, okay. Now you know that reward is coming if you're doing good. Punishment is coming if you're doing bad. That's a given. Let's put it to the side for now. but you must do it out of love of Hashem, not because you're afraid that He's going to punish you, not because you're waiting for reward. Even spiritual reward is also not of pure love of Hashem, right? But the more you learn about Hashem, the more you fall in love with Him, right? All the things that He does for you, like on a second by second basis, to your family, and all these beautiful things that He does to all the whole creation, right? You fall in love and you do things because He said so, not because you're afraid of not to do, right? Although you should be afraid. When you're afraid, you know who you're dealing with, but the highest level is out of love. Okay, so let's see. So halacha number 4, so chapter 10, halacha 4. The sages of the previous generation declared, should one say, I will study Torah in order to be that I become wealthy, in order that I be called a rabbi, or in order that I receive the reward in the world to come? The Torah teaches in Dvarim 11:13, if you are careful to observe my commandments, to love God, implying that all that you should do only be done out of love. The sages also said, in Psalm 112:1, instructs, desire His commandments greatly. There is desire His commandments and not the reward which comes from His commandments. But one more time, reward is coming, so don't worry about this part. Right? In a similar manner, the great sages would commend the more understanding and brilliant among their students. Just one second. Commend the more understanding and brilliant among the students in private. As it says, do not be like a servant who serve the master for the sake of the receiving reward. But they would say it in private, and we're going to see why. Rather, since He is the master, it is fitting to serve Him. There is serve Him out of love. Okay, that's it. So let's try to understand what it says here. I mean, okay, a lot of commentary. Hopefully we're going to finish. If not, we're going to leave for the next time, but let's try. Let's see. So it says, the sages of the previous generations declared. Previous generations, so commentary says, see free comments on the verse below, Nedarim 9062a. Okay. Declare, should one say, I will study Torah in order to become wealthy? Commentary. There is a major question among the halachic authorities if person is allowed to derive material benefits from studying Torah. Right? In Hilchot Talmud Torah 3:10, Rambam writes that it is forbidden to benefit from the Torah study in this world. Our sages commanded, do not make the Torah words of the Torah a crown of glory for yourself, nor axe to cut with. See also commentary to Pirkei Avos 4:5. Okay, so let's try to understand. So the verse says, do not study Torah in order to become wealthy. So in order to get a position, in order to teach others, I mean, if you have a good students and they pay you, it's a good pay, I think, I know, right? It's a very good pay, and then you get respect, okay? So and the Rambam said in Hilchot Talmud Torah, so a person is not allowed to charge for teaching Torah. So why is he not allowed to charge? So our sages explain very simply. Moshe Rabbeinu received the Torah from HaShem for free, right? So and Moshe taught it for free. So why you are Mr. Rabbi and now you want to charge us, right? Give us for free, like somebody found something like it does not belong to him, and now he wants to like if and it belongs to community, let's say, right? And now he wants to get rich out of it, right? Let's say. I don't know if it's a good example, but you got the point. Okay, so and the sages say that people have to live somehow. So we pay in rabbis not for the words of the Torah, but for compensation for them not doing anything else. So if he goes to diamond business, to oil business, this business, that, I mean, there are many trades there in real estate. They would be very talented in a car business. I know many businesses. So in order for him just to stay with us and teach us Torah, because he also has to pay bills and he has a family and he has to eat kosher on all of these things. So we compensate for him not to do anything else. So it's not a payment for him to teach us Torah, but it's actually a compensation for not to do anything else. Okay, but Rambam said don't do it. Because Rambam, many others, they have professions, but it's not, today in today's world, it's not so simple to have a profession and be a rabbi. Not so simple. No, at least not to be a good rabbi. Okay, so continue. Nevertheless, Rav Yosef Karo, in his case of Mishneh, and in Shulchan Aruch, Yorach Deat, chapter 246, takes an issue with Rambam on this point and explains that not all of the sages were have independent means of securing a livelihood. Were the Torah scholars to be prohibited from earning income through his studies, he might be forced to abandon them and thus never realize his Torah potential. So, which is also makes sense. So, plus there are not so many people like that who made Torah their profession. So it's not such a big burden on the community. Okay. So it was comment on when person said, let me get rich, wealthy. Okay. And what else we said? So one more comment that we missed. They said, don't make a Torah words of the Torah as your crown. So now people are going to bow to you, and not making an axe to cut with. So axe meaning like a tool that you make money. Right? Okay. Okay. So should one say, I will study Torah in order to become wealthy, in order that I be called a rabbi, or in order that I receive a reward in the world to come? Right? So, okay, or he even say, as we mentioned before, it's not like nothing physical, just spiritual. So on one hand, spiritual, what could be better than spiritual? Yeah, because still he has ulterior motives, right? He wants to receive the reward in the world to come. The Torah teaches in Dvarim 11:13, if you are careful to observe my commandments, to love God, implying that all that you should only be that all that you do should only be done out of love, right? So it's commandment. We have one of the 613 commandments to love God. Commentary. Though the Rambam had already stated this principle in early halachas, the radical nature of the concept requires him to bring the proofs for the statements from the Talmud. Okay, so that's another proof that person has to love God. Okay. The sages also said in Avodah Zarah 19b, Psalms 112:1 instructs, desire His commandments greatly, meaning not be like a person like again I have to pray, I have to say Birchas Hamazon, like it's the most like ungrateful person. So if you know the person like that, who is ungrateful to God, so it's only a matter of time, as Rabbi Reuven Shlita always teaches us, it's only a matter of time that he's going to be ungrateful to you. It's coming your way. So if you know people like that, you have to stay away from them. Right? At least the issue is, so the way I see it, the issue is some people know they're doing something wrong. Okay, they're trying to hide it. But if person like show outside and he's like speaking out loud about it, that's a big issue. So he does not see it as a thing that he has to be ashamed of. Okay, that's a problem. Okay. So our verse in Tehillim says, desire His commandments greatly. There is desire His commandments and not the reward which comes from His commandments. Okay, commentary. The Tosafos comments that this only applies when one regrets over one's deeds if the reward does not come. So it's very interesting twist that Tosafos adds. So Rambam explains desire His commandments, but not the reward. I mean, reward is coming, but it should not be your main focus in doing mitzvahs and learning Torah. Understand? So I mean, it's like I would say if you work for a boss, for a company, right? And you ask, like, today's Monday and your paycheck is Friday, and then you ask, are you going to pay me? Are you going to pay me? Like, it's only, you just came, buddy. It's Monday, 9:30 in the morning. Why are you asking me? Just take it easy. Just do your work. And then on Friday, you're going to get your check. Until now, you were getting checks. I promise you, you're going to. So why you are annoying, right? So that's what it says here. So let's see one more time the Tosafos. Tosafos comments that this only applies when one has a regret over the one's good deeds, if the reward does not come. So he was doing because somebody told him it's gula, right? That's there are many foolish things that do things only because it is gula, right? Okay, so they do things, and guess what? Many times, whatever they did is not going to work. Or like as Rabbi Reuven Shlita, I was listening to his one of the past lectures, and he said that he gave a blessing to a woman. She came to one of the seminars. And he said he blessed her and he said HaShem put the words into my mouth, and he said that he told her that she would not need an operation, whatever operation, doesn't matter, it's irrelevant, right? And now a few months later she came again to another seminar, and she said, Rabbi, the thing happened, the miracle happened, and the surgery was cancelled. Right? So he said, so Baruch Hashem, his blessing word, but he said many times great people give the blessing and they not being fulfilled. Why? Because there is no receiving end, right? The blessing is genuine, it's very powerful blessing, but there is no, the other side is not ready to receive it. It's not on the level to receive it. You understand? So this blessing is being buried somewhere. Hopefully it's going to get held in suspension, but if not, it's again going to get buried until this person is on a par to receive this blessing. You understand? So this case, why are we saying this? So in this case, as Tosafos explained, this person was doing things because he said, I'm going to get rich if I'm going to give 20% to tzedakah. Right? I'm going to get shidduch if I do this and this. I'm going to do this if I do this and this. And guess what? He did it, and he was honest and diligent. And guess what? It did not happen. So now what happened? He regretted. So that's the person we're talking about here. Those statements are based on Pesachim 8a, which states a person who gives a pruta to charity in order that his son shall live is totally righteous. So it's very interesting thing. So if Talmud said he's totally righteous, even though, as we said, he had the ulterior motives, so he gives tzedakah in refuah shlema of my son. Okay, well, in full recovery of my son, right? And despite him being like in open that he has also ulterior motives, right? So he's he's called righteous. So today, when we want to dedicate something, right, a class or whatever we want to dedicate, so we say that it should be also in a schus and in the merit of, or it should be also not simply do not give the all merit, but also shall merit with for refuah shlema. Okay, so this person. So I would say if he was given tzedakah all alone, and then one time he gave tzedakah and dedicated to recovery of his son, there is nothing wrong. But if he was stingy, it was not given, but now his son is sick, very, very sick, and his wife told him, if you don't give tzedakah now, I'm going to kill you, right? Because our son is dying and because of your stinginess. Okay, so he gave tzedakah. So it's not like if he was doing it before and only this tzedakah he dedicated to his son, to recover his son. But anyway, Talmud calls him righteous. Continue. However, the Rambam does not accept this principle. Though one's deeds are totally righteous, though the deeds are totally righteous, even they are fulfilled because of a selfish motivation, a person should try to rise above the level of serving and seek to serve God for His own sake. Right? So Rambam said, and the whole the whole remaining halachas in this chapter is going to be dedicated to this last thing. Even though his deeds are righteous meaning he gave tzedakah. Doesn't matter why he gave tzedakah, but the end result that poor people didn't have something to eat, and now they have food. Organization could not perform like this siyum that is going to take place tomorrow in Yerushalayim. I'm not sure, Shlita, and I'm not sure how much money. I think it's a lot of money. If you ever been to great synagogue in Yerushalayim, that's a huge place, very expensive, and all of this food, all of the guests, unbelievable, right? So and all of the people who donate to Bizrat Hashem, so that's their schools also. Okay, so 25. Continue. In similar manner, so Rambam say, even though he's totally righteous, but try to do it out of love, right? For just Hashem said, give to poor people, give to charity, give to this cause, to that cause, give to people who study in Kollel. Okay, so I'm doing because Hashem said so, and in the meantime I will also getting this reward of tzedakah. Continue. In a similar manner, the great sages would command the more understanding and brilliant among the students in private. So it's very interesting. So this is the next verse we discussed before. I don't remember when, like a month ago maybe. And now we came back to it. So these sages will discuss only the brilliant among the students. So most of the people were very, very smart, but those are brilliant. Okay, they receive these teachings only for the more capable of the students. Less students err and think there is no reward for the practice Torah and mitzvahs. As mentioned above, the Antigonus of Soho taught this concept to his students. I think Antigonus of Soho, if I remember correctly, he was rabbi of the Rabbi Akiva. Rabbi Akiva. Right. If I remember correctly. Okay. So this great sage, so he taught this principle to the students. Two of his disciples, Tzadok and Beitus, drew a misconception that God would not grant any reward for the Torah practice and started breakaway sects that diverted many from the Torah observance. So what did he say? Well, it's in our Perkiovas, believe it or not. So it says, do not be like a servant who served his master for the sake of receiving reward. Right? So meaning what? And receive. So that's the whole line in Perkiovas. So normal understanding, if you read the commentary, exactly as Rambam explained why you have to serve, how you have to serve to Hashem as a master out of love. So he's a great master. He gives you all of the amazing things. So love him, right? But these Beitus and Tzadok, right? So they created these breakaway sects. What is it? Bitusim and Tzadikim. No, not Tzadikim. What's it? Bitusim. Okay, I forgot. What else? So they heard this teaching and they said, oh, if don't serve your master for the reward, guess what? You know what it means? There is no reward. So why should we serve? So we're going to live any way we want and enjoy our life and forget about Judaism. So they try to recreate Judaism, like all this reform and other garbage out there, and And I mean, it did not work very well for them, but they were, at some point, they were very strong. They were able to sway many people of the Orthodox Judaism, unfortunately. Tzedukim. Sorry, well, that's the name. Tzedukim and Bitusim. Okay. So, and of course, but on another hand, as we said before, like, how is it possible? Here, they are like top students of this great rabbi of Rabbi Akiva, right? Antigonus of Soch, and they concluded this thing. So, one of the explanation is they wanted to make an error, and that's what they did. One explanation. Another explanation, that they did not want to ask rabbi. So sometimes when even maybe rabbi misspoke, maybe he did not elaborate enough. Maybe he was thinking about something else while teaching this halacha. It's also possible. So he did not give all of the details. So ask the question, right? Ask the question, clarify before changing your life so drastically. Make sure that you understand the topic. Don't just break away and do another sect. That's the problem. So now the sages, as Rambam is saying, so they taught this concept in private. So why in private? Commentary. So only top students and only in private. So it looks like we all need to know. Like, and Rambam is not teaching anybody in private. He teaching everybody in public. And he said this book, Mishneh Torah, for great people and small people alike. So it's not like only for scholars. No, it's for all of the people. Okay, commentary. And not in public, unless the teaching is spread among the common people and misconception arises. Right? So misconception. So many people. What is the problem? Why we don't like these common people so much? Maybe they nice. So they nice, but if they do not learn, they are wicked, basically. Right? So why they're wicked? Because they do everything opposite of the Torah, what the Torah commands. How do we know? Because they never learn it. Right? So if you tell them one verse, they would take it out of the context, and that's it. The Rambam statements arise a question: if the teaching was to be reserved only for more capable and understanding students of the Torah, and even to them only conveyed in private, not that Rabbi would assemble the best top 5 students and tell them, right, only in private. Why did Rambam include this in Mishneh Torah? Right, as we said, it's a famous question. So Rambam said that he teaches only basic halacha, right? In his introduction to the text, the Rambam writes that the Mishneh Torah was intended for a great and small alike. After one studying the written Torah, he can read this text and no oral Torah without reading another text in between. So this is statement. It's if you understand what we just said, it's very, very powerful, and only a person like Rambam can make such a statement. And we know that he was very humble, right? Today, if, only arrogant people would say like that. But we know if he was humble and he put his life on the line, right? And he worked on this and other books, and he said that basically you study the written Torah, meaning 24 books of Torah, Torah, prophets, and writings, right? All the 3 sections, and then you don't need the Talmud, you don't need anything, right? Any other Hilchot, right? Any other things, just go directly. He said to my book, Mishneh Torah, and you all said. Of course, we're going to learn that, of course, it's proper to go to the Talmud and see how sages derive this. That's, of course. But he said to survive as a Jew, you must know my book, not all other books. So he said, these books technically is all that you need. So, which is a very strong statement, as you understand. How can he include in such a text the teaching which should be communicated only with reservation? So that's the question, right? However, by explaining the reward for the learning of the Torah and mitzvahs in chapter 8 and 9, the Rambam precluded the possibility of such misconception arising. He emphasized that the reward will be given to the for our Torah practice. Right? With these halachas, he emphasizes the goal for which we should aspire, meaning the Torah is motivated by love without any desire for recompense. So recompense is coming one more time, but it's very interesting sentence before said, he emphasized the reward will be given for our Torah practice. So if somebody is want any reward, and we should want the reward, because it, as Rambam described, it's very, very beautiful reward in Olam Haba, right? But it should be, it's going to be given to us, whoever is only for a Torah practice, whoever learn Torah and practice Torah. So all other people who work a lot, and I'm trying to convince a person. I mean, he works so much, so, and a very, very nice individual, but he drives, I think, like almost 3 hours one way, and sometimes he just stay on the job because he has no strength to return. You understand? And he works I don't know how many days, so maybe 5 days, maybe even 6. Maybe he works on Sunday, I think, or whatever. That's crazy, right? So we try to convince him not to work so much. We try to find the job closer to his house, because the reward is going to be given only for a mitzvah. So all of this efforts driving 3 hours or almost 3 hours one way, there's no reward. It's like waste. Okay, so one more time the whole sentence. In similar manner, the great sages would command the more understanding and brilliant among the students in private. So we just commented. Do not be like servants who serve their master for the sake of receiving reward. Commentary. In his commentary to Mishneh Avos 1.3, Rambam differentiates between a gift given with obligation for the donor and a reward payment for employer to the worker. Gift given without obligation. Okay. So the two. Okay, got it. So the two kinds of rewards. So one is the reward is a bonus. So meaning that you're not obligated to pay bonus, like in some company. For example, when they hire me, so they say, and we pay in our company the bonus from 5 to, I don't know, he said like 25 to 30%, which is a lot, 30%. So that is a bonus. But are they obligated? Of course, every year they came up with a different excuse. Market is down, market is this, market is that. Customers are leaving, customers are coming, new customers. We have to give them the low contract. But then we're going to raise their fees in 5 years and 10 years. So basically you're never going to see the bonus. You understand? So even though they say they're going to pay us, but I mean, maybe they pay to top people, but to simple people they almost never pay, or just a little. Right? So that's one reward, right? And second reward is something that payment for our job. So those are two separate rewards. Okay. Continue. Rather, since he is a master, it is fitting to serve him, right? So don't work for reward, but because he's a master, there is serve him out of love. Okay, so that's the message, number 29. In a contrast to the previous sentence, which is quoted from Pirkei Avos 1.3, this is Rambam's own. Okay, no problem. I mean, we trust Rambam. So continue. So basically it says out of love. So I met many people in my life who said that they love HaShem. And when you start asking them the questions, they do all of the, like every hour, every minute of their life, they go against HaShem. So in order to love HaShem, you have to acquire a lot of knowledge. So meaning what exactly he expects of us, and what he said, he personally said that I love it. Or some things, or he personally said, I hate it, right? So that was given to us through our prophets, right? So continue. Anyone who, halacha number 5. Anyone who occupies himself with Torah in order to receive reward, in order to protect himself from retribution, is considered as one is not occupied for the sake of God. In a contrast, anyone who occupies himself with it, not because of fear, not to receive reward, but rather because his love for Lord of the entire earth, who commanded it, is the one who occupies himself for God's sake. Nevertheless, the sages declared a person should always occupy himself with the Torah even when it is not for the sake of God. Okay. For out of the service which is not intended for the sake, for the God's sake, will come the service that intended for the God's sake. Therefore, when one teaches children, women, and most of the common people, one should teach them to serve out of fear and in order to receive reward. As their knowledge grows and their wisdom increases, these secrets should be revealed to them slowly, bit by bit. They should become accustomed to this concept gradually, until they grasp it and know it, and being servant God out of love. So this is amazing halacha. Any questions on what we said on previous halacha before we start? Okay, then we continue. So from the beginning with commentaries and explanations. Anyone who occupies himself with the Torah in order to receive reward, or in order to protect himself from retributions, is considered as the one who is not occupied for the sake of God. Retributions commentary. As mentioned above, the occupation with Torah will bring about benefit in this world and the world to come and protect from harm. So we said that's a guarantee. So HaShem is protecting those who are close to them. That's obvious. That's what even we're going to do that. So if I have a choice to protect my brother or my children or protect somebody that I do not know, so it's obvious who I'm going to protect. It's like or somebody who is loyal to me, right? Who did me a favor, who did what I asked him, not somebody who goes to me on a daily basis. That's just given, right? So HaShem protects somebody who is learning Torah. So a person, even for this protection, so even if he learns Torah only for this protection, from retribution, protects from retribution, so it's not considered the one who occupies himself for the sake of God. 21. For his intent is his own personal benefit. So all of the things, it's like a barter. You do this for me, and I know I'm going to do this for you, and HaShem, you're going to do this for me. You're going to protect me. So protection is it's a good benefit, right? You getting something in return, which is good. I think it's good. So continue. But it's not for the sake of God, right? Even though all of these things are spiritual, and you cannot calculate translate it into pounds or dollars or I don't know, how much you gain from this Torah study, how much protection you got. 5 pounds of protection. You got protection for 7 enemies, but not from enemy 9 by 8. Right? So it's all spiritual, but still it's not for God's sake. In the contrast, anyone who occupies himself with it, not because of fear, not because of, not to receive reward, but rather because of his love of the Lord of the entire earth, who commanded it. So HaShem told us to learn Torah, do mitzvahs, and He said clearly it's going to be good for you. So it's like a little child. He said, "Is it good?" Of course it's good. Look, you're my daughter. Of course, or you're my son. You're my little son. I'm going to offer you. I'm your father. I'm going to offer you something better. You're normal. But of course, if I'm then giving to you, I say this is good for you. Of course, it's beneficial. Well, you're normal, right? Then what is the commentary? Because of the just 1 second. lost it. But rather because of the love for the Lord of the entire earth, who commanded it. So what is it? The Torah and the practice. So Torah and mitzvahs. So that he commanded us only two things: Torah and mitzvahs. And one who occupied himself for the God's sake. Okay, so commentary 33. Ta'anis 7a declares, whenever a person studies Torah for the God's sake, the Torah becomes drug of life for him. So if he studies or she studies for Torah for its own sake, so a person enjoys it, right? And he cannot live without it. So some people like the check time. So Rabbi, I mean that's Rabbi like this. So I mean he speaks exactly for 10 minutes, and people check time. I don't know 7 times in this. I don't know, everybody like he's so annoying. It's not, and I listen to it. It's not like he's so annoying. Okay, maybe he's not that interested, but you can see that Torah did not become the drug of their life of this, for sure not. They don't enjoy it. Okay. 23. Continue. Nevertheless, our sages. So commentary, where is our sages? In a number of places, among them Pesachim 50b, Sota 22b, Sanhedrin 105a. Okay. Nevertheless, our sages declared a person should always occupy himself with the Torah, even when it's not for the sake of God's sake. Right? So, for out of the service, which is not intended for the God's sake, will come the service that intended for the God's sake. So we always say don't aim like to the highest level, and that's advice from Yetzer Hara. So they say, yeah, I heard in a lecture the rabbi said that you have to serve HaShem out of love. So until I get to this love point, I'm not going to serve him. But why? Because I'm not on that level yet. I want to complete reward. I want to be sincere. So our sages say, just take it easy. It's not sure. Why? Because they already declared you start doing for whatever reason, whatever you're motivated by candy, by cakes, little children, or by this reward, that reward for the protection from this retribution, that retribution. You want to become wealthy, you want to get married, you want children, good children. You start doing this, and if you're doing it sincerely, right, at least like you're trying to understand what Torah is teaching, so Torah has this effect that it goes into your blood, into your veins, and through the blood it goes, of course, through your brain, and it clears you, it cleanses you. And when it cleanses you, so from this altorial of motives, whatever is it, many of them are spiritual, purely spiritual, whatever, or physical, that doesn't matter, right? So Torah has this power to change, to transfer our understanding, and we're going to study out of love. So start studying for whatever reason you're going to study, but try to study out of love. But Torah can help you very much. Okay. Okay. 35 commentary. Russian Bracha 17a in Tosafos Ta'anit 7a. Note that the Talmud is extremely critical of those who do not occupy themselves with the Torah for the God's sake. Tanya 7f declares that whenever a person does not study Torah for the God's sake, the Torah becomes deadly portion for him. So it's not like maybe he's not good, maybe he has to advance in a level. So in this Talmud 17a, it says deadly portion to him, meaning it's like he's studying Torah and drinking poison. So, wow, right? We said that is a source of life, so how come? Bracha 17a states that it would have been better for a person who does not study for the God's sake not to have been born. So it's even harsher. In this case, he's going to drink poison, right? It should drink, it's like a Torah is poison, but in the expression of Bracha said it's better for him never been born. So what's going on here? Right? We just said, okay, it's a little contradiction. We just say, study for whatever ulterior motives, and I'm going to bring it to for the study of out of this, for the sake of God and out of love. So, looks like contradiction. In In the resolution, of course, there is a resolution. Right? In the resolution, the commentaries explain that there are two levels of occupying oneself with Torah that is not for the sake of God. Not for the sake of God. Number one, or A, gain wealth, honor, or other benefits as implied by Rambam here. Okay, so he wants to get wealth, maybe work as a rabbi, or I don't know, be a part of Beis Din. Well, there are different things, right? To have a kashrus agency, right? Do kasher supervision, many things. Do funerals, do weddings. There are many things how rabbi can make money. Okay, in kosher way, right? So one to gain wealth, right? Honor. So of course honor and other benefits as applied by Rambam here. Okay, so that's one of the reason of studying Torah, not for its own sake. And B, so B is that's very bad. B, in order to wax a colic. So what does it mean to wax a colic? So meaning that to show off that he's smarter. So Rabbi is talking about weekly parsha, and here is Rabbi, why in this case says this and this? So Rabbi has a chumash with Rashi. And Rashi is quiet, or he just often offers a simple explanation. And he said, Rabbi, well, how come you don't know? Really, you don't know? Oh, it's so simple. You wanted to explain, and he started explaining. Everybody turned their head on this smart guy. Whoa! So basically, he learned this one hidush in his life, right? Just to make fun of this rabbi or his colleague. So that's in this case, as the commentary explained, that this Torah becomes a deadly portion of him, and it's better for him not to be born if he's going to study Torah only to make somebody like to insult somebody. Okay, continue. Pesachim suggests that one occupy himself with Torah, even if it's not explicitly intended for the God's sake. If one if one's motives are in the first category, previously mentioned, right? So in the first category of previously mentioned, meaning to get wealth and honor and other benefits, so Talmud Pesachim said, continue study, continue, and Bezras HaShem, so Torah can help you. But in the second case, that's it. It's better for him not to be born. So he does not care about the Torah. He does not care about Kiddushim. He cares only so the scholar would not know the answer, and I would. That's the issue. However, if one's motives are the latter, then the sage's harsh words of criticism apply. Meaning that if he wants only to make fun of his colleague. 25. So let me read the whole sentence again. So nevertheless, our sages declare, the person should always occupy himself with Torah, even when it is not for this God's sake. Okay, we just commented. Continue. For out of the service which is not intended for the God's sake, will come the service that intended for the God's sake. Okay. So commentary on this. In the introduction of Eicharabba, Eicharabba 2 quotes God as saying, would Israel abandon me and keep my Torah? For its light would be ultimately returned them to good. To the good. So HaShem is saying, so that's what we're going to read on Teshuvah, right? So he said, if only Israel left, okay, they don't want learn they don't want do the mitzvahs, okay, let them abandon me, but let them not abandon my Torah, meaning let them continue learning, even not for the sake of the Torah. Continue learning, continue, right? It's going to bring you to the good things. Okay. If a Jew frequently occupies himself with Torah, the inner godly nature of the Torah will eventually have an effect upon him and motivate him to serve God with a proper intention. So is it going to happen every time? No. Some people are so corrupted, so they never I don't want to say never, but most likely they're not going to do Teshuvah. But some people who are not so corrupted, they honest that with themselves and they acknowledge their deficiencies and say, okay, I have this issue. I am aware of this sin. I'm working on it. It takes time, but at least I'm not fooling myself, right? So these people have a chance. There is a deeper aspect to this statement. So it says, it translates as an inner part. Every element of the Jewish life is motivated by the godly potential. Okay. Though he may think he's performing a mitzvah for the selfish intent, the inner core of the service, right? So even though like a person mind, right, or like in mind, he saw in the HaShem that he wants some benefit, but inner the godly core wants only the connection with God, right? So it's not entirely. So what this commentator say? It's always mixed of good and bad. Continue. Therefore, when one teaches children, women, and most common people, one should teach them to serve out of fear and in order to receive reward. Okay, so of course today women are more educated. We're talking about olden days when women did not go to schools. I mean, I think the women start going to yeshivas maybe 100 years ago. Some. That's when it started. Maybe a little more than 100 years, but no, not more than that. So before that, the women were educated only in the house, right? From their mother, from father, from the brothers. So brothers would come from yeshiva, they would learn Torah, and the girls would listen, and that's how they would get their knowledge, right? So for simple people, of course, common people, many common people they could not even read. I'm not sure how many, but some people, common people, could not read. That's for sure. Okay. So for them, for simple people, not with not so developed intellect, and the children, so you teach reward and punishment only, right? So, because they have to do it anyway. They must do it just because they understand. They do not understand. It's like it's irrelevant. The bottom line, HaShem said, did you do it or not? That's the question they're going to ask. Okay. So continue. Commentary. In Rambam's commentary to the Mishneh, in the introduction to the 10th chapter of Sanhedrin, he elaborates on this concept. When a young child is brought to the teacher to be taught the Torah, this is the greatest good for him, allowing him to attain fulfillment. However, because of his young and undeveloped intellect, the child does not comprehend this good. Therefore, it is necessary for the teacher to motivate him to his studies with things he loves. Okay. So, it's ultimate good that these amazing smart parents brought this child to the teacher, and he said it's good. The child would prefer to play outside, right? Not to sit and read the books and try to memorize things, right? So, but it's for his ultimate good, right? So this teacher has to reward him. He should tell him, I will give you nuts, figs, and a little honey. It is out of this motivation that the child begins to study. The child studies not because of the essence of the study, for the child has no comprehension of that, but because of the food. Not because of the food. That's what he wants. A little reward. Eating these delicacies are more important to him than the actual study. So we understand what's going on. He just likes the candies, right? But why? In order to get the candy, the reward, he was willing to study. When he becomes older and his intellect grows to the point he realizes the worthlessness of these items, we should encourage him and motivate him to learn by promise of things he holds dear. His teacher should tell him, study and I will buy you nice shoes or beautiful garments. Thus he would study, not for the sake of the study itself, But for the garments, the garment becomes more valuable for him than the Torah. The Rambam continues mentioning other factors that may be employed in motivating older children, for example, money or honor. He concludes, all this is degrading. Okay, so we have not denied, we understand it's all degrading. Nevertheless, it may be necessary to become necessary because of the limits of the person's intellect to make the goal of the wisdom something that other than wisdom. Right, so goal is for this child to get the knowledge, but we do it in a roundabout way because of the reward of the candies or garments. 27. Continue. So this three category of people. So which is what children, women, and common people. As their knowledge grows and their wisdom increases, these secrets should be revealed to them slowly, bit by bit. So as we said, I saw it, and it's when people start teaching this serving HaShem out of love, it's the biggest disaster that could happen to a person. So he said, when I'm going to be on that level, I'm going to serve HaShem. But I'm not a hypocrite, Rabbi. I'm not going to do it if I don't feel it. If it's not in my heart, I'm not going to do it. So that's disaster. They should become accustomed to this concept gradually, meaning serving HaShem out of love, until they grasp it and know it and being serving God out of love. 28. A teacher must have patience and mold the student's character slowly. So especially with the small children, it's to be a teacher of the small children, you have to see the potential. You have to see the personality, and much deeper, on a deeper level than you see from outside. So on outside they can behave this way or that way, but it's not who they are. So in order to be a teacher, it's not so simple, right? So and they have to mold the character slowly, taking care not to expose that to the concept that are too difficult for them to comprehend and internalize. So not all of the students on the same level. Just because they're boys or girls of the same age does not mean they're on the same level of comprehension. So don't overdo it. Nevertheless, he must place as his intent his students' eventual appreciation of this fundamental truth and gradually direct them toward this appreciation. So on one hand, they're not ready at this point, but it must be your goal. So at one point, you would have to reveal them. What is the goal of everything that we do? Okay. Any questions on what we said? Continue.
Yes, how about Rab?
Yes, go ahead. Yes.
Yes. Everything that you've said up to this point, now, does this all apply just to the Jewish nation, or does any of it apply to Gentiles?
These all halachas for Jews. So serving out of love, if that's, that's the main concept of what we're discussing. Here it's, or reward and punishment, it applies for Jews and Gentiles. So Gentiles, they just have to do different mitzvahs, but still there is a reward and punishment. You understand? So there is, here's no difference. And they also, HaShem does all of these miracles, all the beautiful things for Jews and Gentiles. So they have to serve whatever they do out of love. And Rambam said that, he said that the dumbest person that can ever be in this world is a Gentile who observed the 7 laws of Noah. But he said, I am doing that because I think that's the right thing to do. So why? And Rambam said that's the most dumbest person, because even if he would say I'm doing it because HaShem said so, he's getting amazing reward. But if he said because of my intellect, because it's good for society, because I feel good, because my mother taught me, my father taught me, it's very good, but he has no reward. So all his life he did right things, and no reward. That's I'm call him the dumbest person ever. You understand? Did we answer the question, or you have different examples so I can answer?
Yes, no, that's perfect.
Okay, good.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So let's do one more halacha. So it says, I think it's the last one. Yeah, that's the last halacha. Says, it is well known and clear matter that the love of God will not become attached within a person's heart until he becomes obsessed with it at all times, as fitting, living all things in the world except for this. This was implied by the commandments in Dvarim 6:5, love God, your Lord, with all your heart, with all your soul. One can only love God as the outgrowth of his knowledge, exactly as we said, right? So if you have no knowledge, you don't even know who you love, right? Outgrowth of the knowledge with which he knows him. The nature of one's love depends on the nature of one's knowledge. A small amount of knowledge arouses a lesser love. A greater amount of knowledge arouses a greater love. So the more person knows HaShem, the more he loves him. I mean, at least the way it's supposed to be. Therefore, it is necessary for a person to seclude himself in order to understand and conceive wisdom and concept which make his creator known, right, to him according to the potential which man possesses to understand and comprehend, as we explained in Hilchot Torah. Okay, so that's the whole halacha. So let's do from the beginning with commentaries. And it says, it is well known and clear matter that the love of God will not become attached within a person's heart until he becomes obsessed with it at all times, as fitting, right? Living all things of the world except for this one. So if person is into his job, into his hobby, I'm not sure when people have time for hobby, but let's say into sports, into watching news, whatever, all of these things. So for sure, he's never going to be attached to HaShem, right? Because he has all of the other distractions, right? And they take time. Simple. Or he has friends. People like go to hang out with friends, with family. I'm not sure when they have time. I have no idea. But what I do know, that the person is going to be punished for all of the time wasted. Okay, so you saw your cousin. Okay, you say hi. You could have called him, right? Do voice messages. That's what I do. Somebody say, okay, can we talk? I say, no, we do voice messages, right? Then voice messages is much shorter. You have 2 minutes and 3 minutes, and that's it. You answer, and don't need to see each other. Okay, so it's commentary. A person may fear God and also fear physical things. However, this relationship is not possible regarding love. Okay, right? So fear God and physical things possible. But loving God is not possible. Let's see what he means. To the extent he feels attached, desire, and love for material things, he will be unable to feel this emotion toward God. So people who in love with material things, they cannot have this relationship with God, closeness. So because a person always have all of these things in mind, have to make more money and have to buy this house and that house, right? This pool, that pool, that's the issue, right? So the way I see it, like in simple words, right? The person simply does not have time to dedicate to the Torah study and to, as we're going to say in the end of this halacha, to seclude himself, like sit in a dark room for half an hour, 1 hour, like 15 minutes, right, to think about his life. Nevertheless, the above should not be interpreted to imply the necessity to accept ascetic, hermit-like lifestyle. On the contrary, in Hilchot Dios 1.3, Rambam severely criticizes those, who adopt such a path. Rather, Rambam advises us to appreciate God in every element of existence and perceive our involvement with material things as extension of our service of God. So let's try to explain. So Rambam, as we learned in the Hilchot Dios, Rambam said, I don't need this ascetic life. So if a person goes to the mountain, live off the ground or whatever, stay in this cavern, build his house there, do not see the people. No, that's not holiness. In Judaism, it's called stupidity, right? It has nothing to do with holiness, right? And Torah does not expect us. And HaShem said, I created all of the beautiful foods for you in the world, so you're obligated to try that all of the beautiful foods, all of the beautiful fruits, exotic fruits, I don't know, like vegetables that I created. So it's all for you, right? So as our sages say, every Jew is supposed to understand that the whole world was created for him personally, and that's why that's how he has to see the world, right? It was created for me on one hand. On the other hand, I have an obligation for the whole world, right? For existence of the whole world, right? It's not for free, right? Okay, so all right, so we have to enjoy our life, but it should not be like the main focus of our existence, right? So you eat, you sleep, you have family, children, everything, and so in HaShem. But it's all of these things should be extension of the source of God. That's what this commentator is saying. Meaning what? That I go to work not because to make money. I go to work because I have to feed my family. So I give tzedakah. So to feed my family, that's what I signed. That's a Torah law that I signed in my Teshuva to my wife. I'm going to provide for her, for our kids. Okay, I'm doing the mitzvah, but don't overdo the mitzvah. Or I have to be with my wife together on days that is allowed. Okay, I'm doing the mitzvah. Not because, of course, I can enjoy. There is no problem to enjoy, and you must enjoy it, right? But my main intention must be to serve HaShem. I'm going to sleep. Why? Because I'm too tired. So I cannot learn any longer. So I cannot perform. So I'm going to get rest, get energy, and I'm going to study better. I'm going to do mitzvahs better. Okay, that's why I'm going to sleep. Same with eating and all other things. This was implied. Continue. This was implied by the commandment in Dvarim 6:5. Love God your Lord with all your heart, with all your soul. That's our Shema. Okay. Continue. One can only love God as an outgrowth of the knowledge with which he knows him. So people, as I said before, many people who claim that they love God know exactly zero about him, and they do everything possible opposite what he said. So, commentary. The Maggid of Mezrich asks, how can the Torah command love God, your Lord? How is it possible to command the emotion? Either you feel love, or either one feels love or doesn't. There is no way for a person to be ordered the experience of feelings. He explains, the commandment to love God follows the verse Shema, which proclaims that God, your Lord, is one. Right? When a person thoroughly comprehends this concept, he will naturally be aroused to love God. So the more you learn, as Rabbi Reuven Shlita always explained, the more you learn what, if you learn Chazanish Imonai B'tochon series, right? So the first few lectures, so Chazanish explained us, it's Rabbi Reuven, right? So he explained as our nervous system, all of the blood vessels, how the speech works, this work, and the person might think, look, I'm not in biology class, I'm not science class. This great Chazanish, tell me something about Torah. Why are you telling me about anatomy, how it's all work? I'm not a doctor. And the point is that Chazanish said, so until you know all of these things, you do not appreciate the miracle that you can go to the bathroom. You have no idea, because if this stuff stays inside of you, it's going to poison your body and you're going to die very soon, right? Or right? So and other things. Right? So, and the more you learn about your stomach, how like blood vessels, it works, you fall in love with Hashem, that He performs all of these miracles. Okay, continue. The nature of one's love depends on the nature of one's knowledge, right? A small amount of knowledge arouses lesser love because people think that it's all works on its own. The greater amount of knowledge arouses greater love. Commentary. Though each Jew possesses natural potential to love God, the expression of potential depends on the development of the intellectual awareness of Him, meaning Hashem. If person will not direct his thoughts to God, he will have done nothing to lead and develop that feeling. So love, and I would add, it's not only between like person and Hashem. It's also between the spouses, right? If just because she's your wife or he's your husband does not mean that it's this love is going to work automatically. No, just because you live together, you have children together, it does not mean anything, right? So you have to work on this relationship every day of your life, and the more you work on this relationship, the closer you become, and the bigger love you have to each other, right? Same as but Hashem has created all of this love, as we learned before, between men and women to show us, right, how a person has to seek God, how he has to love Him, right? So that's for us to comprehend on some level. Okay? I mean, at least we can get a glimpse of this love, right, between people, and project it to the love of Hashem. So the more we love, the more we work on it. So even though, as a commentator say, we have potential is very good. If I have potential, I don't know, I have a car, but it's on my driveway, I don't drive it. Okay, it has great potential, but it's just a waste of money, right? With this potential. Continue. Therefore, it is necessary for a person to seclude himself in order to understand and conceive the wisdom and the concept that which make his creator known to him according to potential which man possesses to understand and comprehend, as we explained in Hilchot Torah. So we're going to read that explanation, but person has to seclude. What does it mean? I think in the last lectures of Igeret Hagra, I don't remember which, altogether there were 40 lectures, so maybe it's in 38 or 39th lecture. So Rabbi Reuven Shlita explained this concept very beautifully. He explained, just one second. So it's to seclude himself. So Chazanish explained. So seclude yourself. It's like you're in a desert. So when people ask you, come to the party, come to this, I cannot. So just stay away, because you need this time to get close to Hashem. Seclude yourself, to separate you from things that distance yourself from Hashem. Don't watch news. Don't watch TV. Throw this TV out. You understand? Do like seclude yourself. You're in this world, but to get rid of all of the things that steal your time. This valuable time that you can never restore, that you could have learned Torah. Okay, that's how he explains it. Of course, it's summary. He explained it very nicely. Continue. Okay, commentary. Hilchas Yisodei Torah, chapter 2, halachas 1 and 2 states, it is a mitzvah to love and fear the glorious and awesome God. What is the path to loving Him and fearing Him? When a person meditates on His great and wondrous deeds and the creation, and from them appreciates this wisdom, which has no bounds or comprehension, he will immediately be aroused to love and greatly desire to know God. So that's the concept of what the dude. So people say it's Breslov and stuff. It has nothing to do with Breslov. I mean, the Rabbi Nachman, it's one of the things Rambam teaches this. So it was known even in the Talmud, and of course before the Talmudic time. It was it's a Jewish way to seclude yourself in a physically, right? You go somewhere, you go in a forest, and somewhere like on the nature, and be alone with yourself and think about all these great things without all of the distraction. Leave your phone in the car, I guess, or at home. Don't take your phone with you. Similarly, Yesodei Torah 1:4-12 states, when a person meditates on these matters and sees the wisdom of God in all the creations and works, his love for God will increase. Right? His soul will thirst. His soul will thirst for this flesh, and his flesh will desire to love God. So the more person learns, the more he desires God. Sefer Yetzirah states, the end rooted in the beginning, and the beginning and the end. The Rambam begins Sefer Hamadah, so this book, the book of knowledge, the first of the 14 books in Mishneh Torah, right? And he says, the foundation of all fundamental principles and the pillar of all wisdom is to know that there is a primary entity, meaning HaShem. The end and ends with our halacha. Okay, so know that there is a HaShem and our halacha that you must love Him. Thus, the text begins with and ends with knowledge of God. So how you got to get to the knowledge of God? So of course you get through the how you get to the love of God? Through the knowledge of God. So we finish in the section. It says, "Blessed is the merciful one, who grants assistance." This conclusion concludes the first book of the book of knowledge with the help of the Almighty. The numbers of the chapters in this book 46. Hilchot Yesodei Torah 10 chapters. Hilchot Dios 7 chapters. Hilchot Talmud Torah 7 chapters. Hilchot Avodat Kochavim 12 chapters. Hilchot Teshuvah 10 chapters. Commentary, last commentary. These lines were written by Rambam himself, and therefore, although omitted some printings of the Mishneh Torah, are included in our text. So that's so we concluded this section. Chazak, chazak, v'nei chazek, and so from strength to strength, and it should be one of the sections, one of the many sections that we learn together. That was HaShem. Okay, any questions, commentary? Go ahead, any topic? Okay, so if not, HaShem, so until tomorrow we go. Go ahead.
Yeah, if we decide to come into
Could you speak a little louder? I apologize, a little louder. Cannot hear you.
Yeah, if we come into prayer in the presence of God and
Yes.
we knowingly have a stain on our shirt and make a transgression, is that called an intentional sin?
Okay, good question. So it says, I see the question. So it says if a Talmid Chacham is coming to outside, forget about prayer, right? Outside of the street with a stain on his jacket, whatever, short, that doesn't matter. So it's Hil Hashem. So maybe for a simple people like us, maybe it's not Hil Hashem on one hand. On the other hand, when you walk like this on a street and see people see that, even before you come to the synagogue, you understand? So if people see that, it could be they would think bad about all of the Jews. So in some sense, it could be Hil Hashem. Even though everybody puts stains on their shorts, and I think I said before, I have several shorts just in case in my office, just in case, like in my drawer. You never know what can happen, right? But it would not be appropriate, of course. So of course it's not going to be a sin that a simple person would be punished because of this, but it could be the Kill HaShem. For even like people look for small things, right? So especially when they don't want to do something, they're looking for these small things, and I said, oh, that's how the Jews look. Ugh, with a stain. What he didn't have a new shirt. That's like old shorts. Like look the color. It's all wear out. Ugh. You understand? So it's a bad bad outlook for the Jewish people. You understand? But if you talking about the prayer in general, it's going to be accepted. Person said, look, Hashem, I didn't have time. If I had time to go home and change, right? Or pray with the minyan, there is no question you must pray with the minyan. There is no question about it. Go ahead.
So is it still, besides the point of the type of sin is it considered intentional? Is it actually intentional?
It's not. I see what it's not like when we say intentional sin. So it's when the Shulchan Aruch says it is sin. So it's not a sin on that level, that intentional or not intentional. You understand? Of course, as I said, it's proper to have like if you travel in a car like all day and stuff like that. So of course, if you eat in a car, so it's only a matter of time, and unless you're a very perfect individual, until you spill something on yourself. Like I know myself, so so everybody spill. So I have to have two shorts, like in your car, 3 shorts, whatever. Some things to change. So as we were speaking yesterday about water. So if you travel like and you know for sure you're going to eat somewhere on the road, you must have water with you in case you need to wash hands, right? Maybe there is a bathroom there, but it's filthy bathroom, like where you stop and you don't want to use it. Like there's no place to get water. Well, you understand? So you have to think a little ahead and be prepared for different situations, and know that as a Jews we're represented on a representative of HaShem. So we cannot look like everybody else. So everybody else looking at us. That's the thing. So when you're representative, for example, if you, I don't know what is a good example, if you represent some company, what is the company? What is it? Apple, right? You represent Apple. So, and you said that he's this person is representative of the Apple in this tri-state area. So that's a big position, right? A lot of money is going through your hand, a lot of decision, and then you come with a stand on the shoulder and say, "That's." I thought that Apple could hire somebody more neat than this person, this guy. So you understand? Maybe the next phone, this guy is not going to buy Apple. Going to buy the Android. I don't know. You understand? So we are representative of HaShem. We have to look apart. Okay. Any other questions? Go ahead. Okay, Thomas, did I answer your question? Are you clear, or tell me?
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Okay. Any other questions? Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yes, Rav.
Go ahead.
I know you talked about chicken maybe a couple of days ago, maybe last week, and you said something about the skin. Is it bad, or is it just a preference to have the skin or eat the skin?
Okay, so the skin is kosher. So if you want to eat the skin, you can eat. There is no problem. But the thing is, if it's known that there is a lot of cholesterol in the skin, so it's not healthy. If somebody is a younger person with a good metabolism, there is no problem. But if you know that it can endanger your health, so it's not recommended. Is it not allowed? No, it's allowed. But one of the things that is not recommended. Yeah, you understand? Because statistics show that that many people die from heart attacks and these heart attacks, most of them caused by high cholesterol. So in order to have a high cholesterol, you don't have to be obese. You don't have to be like 300 pounds. Not even like normal people have high cholesterol because they eat all of the not healthy food. So like a deep fry. So why would somebody deep fry if it's such a bad for you? Understand? So we have to take care of our health and be responsible, because this body is something that HaShem gave us as a loan, right? See, He had to give us neshama, only our soul, but there is only a special container. One second, let me move this. So but the only way to hold the soul here in this world is in the body. So this body is a loaner. So you cannot do with this body whatever you want, right? And as we said before, so if person is sick with whatever sickness, with heart problem, different problem, right? So he cannot serve HaShem properly. So with this abusing of our body, so we, in some sense, we're going against HaShem. Why? Because we cannot learn. So, okay, the person says, okay, I'm very sleepy, I have no energy. Okay, you have no energy because you eat all of this garbage food, right? That all of these doctors told you not to do. Okay, so then it drains your energy. So, okay. So whose fault is it that you fall asleep? You start reading the page and you fall asleep after half a page. So you have no idea about weekly parasha. Why? Because you ate bad food. You understand? So, is it not allowed? No, it is allowed. Is it recommended? It's not recommended. You understand? Especially today, when we know the facts. The facts. So we go by many things. We go by science. I mean, if they say it's bad, so it's bad. I mean, I'm not going to argue with them. Okay. Any other questions?
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, so if no questions, so we stop here. And Bezras Hashem, so we'll see what are we going to learn next. I think we have to learn Hilchot Talmud Torah, laws of studying Torah, and you will be surprised unless you learn it once. On your own, you will be surprised at all the topics that we're going to unexpected topics that we're going to cover in that section. Bezras Hashem. Okay, so tomorrow we're going to do halachas of brachas, laws of blessings. Very interesting class. So please join us tomorrow. Good night.